Kids Playground!
Hooray!
This is the Deron Harris Podcast. Here's your host, Deron Harris.
Yo, what up, folks? Welcome back to the show. I'm Deron. This is my podcast. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. I do appreciate it. Today, I'm talking about men's mental health. I'm going to get right into it because it's the last week of Men's Mental Health Month, and I wanted to see something. I wanted to see what listeners thought about this, which is, do you think America prioritizes men's mental health? Do you think we have a situation in our country where we care about the mental well-being of the men in this country? I can see right now, I'm going to go ahead and answer that question. I can see right now that we don't. We do not prioritize the mental health of men in this country, and I want to know why. I want to know what's really behind that. Women are excellent at self-care, at breaking down and saying, Calgon, take me away, drawing themselves a bath and going sitting in the bathtub and putting out some little rose petals and some essential oils in the water and whatever it is they need to do to kind of relax themselves. Women have kind of cornered the market on that. They have taken it quite literally to lean back. But men, we do our idea of leaning back and taking it easy is, for a lot of us, is doing more aggressive shit. More things that put us in a position where our mental health could possibly be affected. Like, for instance, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't do these things, by the way, but I got a friend who says, oh man, when I need to relax, I just go off and shoot off some guns. And wow, that is the last thing I associate with relaxation is guns. But that's what he claims, that in order to take time for myself, when I take time and I want to go out and think and I want to put myself first, I go out to the range and I shoot. But all right, man, okay. That's okay. That's good for you. Who am I to tell you what you need to calm you down? But from where I stand and how I think, and it's just me, I'm not saying this is anybody else, it's just me, how I think. If I'm out here shooting off this gun, pow, 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 immediately I'm thinking, what is this gun used for? This gun is used for one thing, which is to take life. And that's all it is, which stresses me the fuck out, which in turn fucks with my mental health. But not him. And that is, I mean, that's intriguing to me. How, one form of relaxation or one form of self-care or focusing in on one's mental health, personal mental health, is very broad and extremely a vast variety of activities and things that you can do to bring yourself into a different state. But our mental health, though, there's a lot of guys that I know. There's a lot of people that I know. This person with the gun fetish also. This person has clear mental health issues, has some issues that he is not really willing or wanting to address for a couple of reasons. One, the main one really is because he really doesn't think that he has a problem or that what is going on with him is a problem, which I beg to differ. And I think, and I believe this, the other one is he's embarrassed or he's just macho to a point where he has said to himself and told himself and everybody else around him that he does not need help. And so he drinks, and he drinks every day. I'm not going to say most days because it's every day. It's every day. And pretty good. Makes pretty stiff ones. Goes through handles. One handle a week. One handle sometimes in a few days. And it's a thing. It's a thing. And he does not see an issue. Doesn't see a problem. But, I'll be honest. I, for a long time, didn't realize or see it myself until I myself was diagnosed with major depressive disorder and extreme anxiety, and was able to, take what I had been experiencing in, my therapy sessions and, not really necessarily diagnosing my friend, but just seeing some of the traits that were in him that were in me, and just realizing that this man needs help too. This man needs help. He is hurting, and he needs to get it off his chest. He needs to stop holding it in, because take it from me, folks, when you hold things in, you scar yourself. You hurt yourself. It is important to get it out. And that's one of the reasons I started doing my podcast. That's one of the reasons. That is really, it's the main reason I really started doing my podcast, was for my well-being, was for an outlet, a release valve. Instead of keeping everything bottled up inside of me, I needed a release valve. And that is the main reason I started doing this podcast, is so I could have talk therapy after I was done with therapy. Because I cared. I cared enough about my mental state to be proactive enough to do something about it. To say, on top of therapy, after I'm out of therapy, I'm done with therapy. Okay, I had a good session and I'm enthused about it. How can I keep this going? Well, my wife and my best friend, who is also my producer, said, "Why don't you do a podcast?" And it took me a while to get it up off the ground. It took me a while. I put it off and procrastinated. No, I can't do this. And after a while, I began to realize that I needed to do it, because I needed the additional release that I was getting on top of therapy. And I'm so glad that I do this podcast, because it does help me, and from time to time it helps other people, and that's what I want. That's what makes me happy, is helping other people. So to sit here and see my friend, do these things to himself, or kind of turn things away that he should be turning into, is a little hard. But at the same time, I kind of keep my distance. Not so much, but I'm like that. I'm like that nagging motherfucker sitting on your shoulder, saying, "Hey man, knock, 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 tap, tap, tap. Hey man." That's me with him. And I make it clear to him that there is nothing to be ashamed of. Nothing. If you need help, man, you need help. And it's okay to ask. Because for a long time I thought I could do anything. I'm Batman. I used to tell people I can do anything. I'm a superhero. I can do anything. Until I realized that I couldn't. Until I realized that even as a superhero, all superheroes have weaknesses. And it was true. There's kinks in my armor. Things that I didn't understand. How did I get here? Going through periods of homelessness and periods of joblessness and looking for a job and being turned away. Things that went on with my kids, things that went on with my parents and my family, and all these injuries that I have sustained to my emotional state, to my mental state. Big, deep scars that I just overlooked, and just I can get past that. I can get by that. And for a long time I did. I believed it. I suppressed it. I put it out of my head. It didn't matter so much. Didn't really think about it. Until one day it just creeps up on you. It just creeps right up on you. And I'm a man, I'm a man, and I've talked about this before on my podcast, but I like to, I'm on some machismo with it sometimes. You know what I mean? I'm a man. I'm a whole man. You know what I mean? I do man shit. I'm a guy. But one day, I'm managing this restaurant, a little lounge, and I'm having a staff meeting. And right in the middle of the meeting, out of nowhere, I feel this little lump in the back of my throat. And I had no idea where it came from. And I couldn't contain myself and couldn't control myself in front of my staff. And I just start uncontrollably crying. Yeah. Out of nowhere. And what the fuck was that? And my staff is looking at me like I'm crazy. And after the meeting, I went in the office, and people were coming back to, hey, man, you all right? You good? You all right? Yeah, man, I don't know what the fuck that was. I got no idea why that happened. And this was before I was diagnosed with anything. And this was not too long ago. It was a few years, several years, a few years ago. Like 3 or 4 years ago. And, man, it overwhelmed me. But it made me curious after a while. So I didn't do anything about it at that moment. I went to work. I went back to work. Ended up losing that job, and I went and started working for another job, doing the same thing I was doing, managing a restaurant. And, went through, a bunch of hardship there with that. Well, not really. It was a good job, and then we got hit with COVID, and we were furloughed. So all through COVID, there was a lot of things that did me in mentally. I had a really good friend of mine pass away like the first few weeks. That's when it hit me. I mean, home. And then my brother passed. And yeah, my brother passed. And people wanted to say that it was like a blood clot. Nah, okay. But it just seemed to me like during that time, anybody that went in the hospital didn't come out. So that really kind of took its toll on me and made me sad. And I didn't get COVID, all while we were quarantined. Me and my wife's quarantined. We practiced social distancing, et cetera, et cetera. We masked up, wherever. I didn't have a problem with it, by the way. Everybody's freaking out. I don't want to wear a fucking mask. I didn't have a problem with it. I don't care. It's a good precaution. So, but anyway, what I did is after COVID, I went to after being furloughed, I ended up going to another job. And at that job, I actually got COVID twice. And while I was going through COVID, the first time I got the Delta, which was a son of a bitch, man. And I gave it to my wife, so I'm a couple days ahead of her. So I'm sitting at home and I'm realizing, man, this is the sickest I've ever been. This is kicking my ass. I mean, it's really fucking me up. And the same thing with my wife. And I started thinking, what if we don't make it, or what if one of us doesn't make it? And that was bad for my state also. And just all these things over years and years and years just compounding on top of me. Just compounding itself and compounding itself and compounding itself. And it took my primary care physician to give me a questionnaire for me to even consider it, to even think that I had an issue. I just thought, it was luck of the draw, bad luck, this, that, whatever. I just thought it was something other than major depressive disorder and extreme anxiety. I had no idea it could even be that. But thank God for that man. Thank God for that man, because he opened me up to realize that, yeah, man, I have some mental issues that I have to address, and it's important. I have to make it important. I have to make my mental health a priority, because the United States of America, our country, does not make men's mental health important. It is not a priority. We are expected to push through everything that we experience without feeling anything. And that's just not possible. It just ain't. So, after receiving the diagnosis, I had not too long after that, I had a breakdown and was hospitalized. And I've talked about this before. I had a breakdown, like a bad one. I was hospitalized. But while I was in there, I saw so many other people who were suffering mentally, and there were a couple of ladies in there. There were some ladies, but it was a lot of men. There were a lot of broken men in there. Broken. And it made me sad. It really did. It just made me sad. And that's what made me question or ask the question I asked about men's mental health, is because here are all these men in here. There weren't so many women in there. And the reason why is because, like I said, women, they've figured it out how to prioritize their mental state. We haven't. We're too busy achieving to break ourselves down. We're too busy showing the next man how much stronger than he is we are. Too busy doing that. Too busy, can't show weakness. And you get all these dudes going to the gym with all these fucking dumbass shirts. Pain is just weakness leaving the body. No, man. You got to stop that kind of shit. People get hurt in many different ways. People get scarred and damaged in many different ways. And people need to start realizing that men need to be looked after. We need to be checked on. We need to learn to check on ourselves. We need to hold ourselves to that standard. We as men in this country, men, all of us, black men, white men, Latin men, Asian men, Indian men, I don't care what kind of man, all men of all ethnicities, we need to band together, fellas. We need to get together, fellas, because we're out here doing it to ourselves, man. Not only are we doing it, we're not only doing it to ourselves, we're doing it to our society. I see it every day in our society. Every day. I see the effects of mental illness in our society and people who think they have regular, normal lives. People zipping and zooming through traffic without a care in the world, without caring about anybody else in traffic. Believe it or not, that's rooted in narcissism. And where I come from, that's a mental issue you have. People out here so quick to want to take a life. I'm going to buy me a gun. I'm going to go shoot this and shoot that and shoot this up and shoot that. And I'm going to shoot that and I'll kill you and you better not mess with me. I'm the baddest motherfucker around. Don't fuck with me. And that's mental health issues. That's you needing fucking help. That's you needing to back down off of your shit and admit that you're not that strong, man, and it's okay. It's all right, man. It's all right. I'm going to take a break. And when I come back, we're going to continue talking about men's mental health and the lack of priority for it in America. This is the Deron Harris Podcast. I'll be right back.
Now, back to the Deron Harris Podcast.
Hey, folks, what's good? Welcome back to the show. Today I'm talking about men's mental health and how it is not a priority in America. So, speaking about not a priority in America, black men's mental health is really not a priority, and for a few reasons. And some of those reasons are our fault, really, because we just don't do it. We just don't do mental health help. We just don't go out for that shit. We don't think that we need to. We think that shit is corny. We think that shit is some shit for a girl. We think that shit is weak. But meanwhile, we standing out here on, street corners in the middle of the night watching our friends get murdered and, watching, people get beat up and having to do wild shit to earn a living. And, but we don't need any help, though. That's the thing. And somebody asked me the other day, why do you think black men are less likely to seek mental health help? And, you feel me? Because no one takes us seriously, okay? We are the most, let's just face it. Black men, the whole world hates us anyway. The whole world just wants black men gone. That shit is funny to me. They don't mind the women. They'll keep black women, but they just want black men to fuck out of here. And black men feel that. We feel that. I feel that. And people say, oh, you're exaggerating. No, the fuck I'm not. No, the fuck I'm not. I feel it. I feel it all the time. I felt it all the time. I felt it at jobs. I felt it while going to get jobs, applying for jobs, all kind of shit. I've always felt that. And far be it from somebody else to tell me that I'm exaggerating. Fuck you. How about that? I feel that shit. They just want us gone. So nothing or no issue that surround, and that's why issues don't get taken care of, because I think if it was black women, some of the issues may be fast-tracked. But the fact that a lot of it is and I'm not making shit up either. Because there's a lot of, you're just making this up, some racism, and shut the fuck up, because I'm not making it up. One of the reasons we don't go seek help is because we're afraid that we're not going to receive adequate care, which has been proven. Okay? It's been proven. We've been experimented on, black men and women. We don't trust the medical industry. We don't fucking trust y'all, man. You feel me? And that's why a lot of us, especially, I hate to say it, some of us look for black doctors. Some of us go out and deliberately look for black healthcare professionals because we feel that we may somehow get better treatment. And we do a lot of the times, but sometimes we don't. But a lot of times we do, because people can relate to what we're going through. And not only can they relate, they actually care. I see two therapists. I see a black woman and I see a white woman. And they're both great. They're both great. But I can clearly see that some things that I talk about that involve my community, my white therapist, she does not necessarily know how to respond, or, she's curious. But, my other therapist, she knows exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. She knows exactly what I mean, what I've been through, what I feel. She knows that. So in my opinion, she's more able to identify with me. She's more able to get where I'm coming from, and she's more inclined to help me get proper help. You follow me? She has better working knowledge of more avenues that I could take. And I'm not taking anything away from, my white therapist. She's great. She's absolutely fantastic. Super funny, super helpful. Gets right down, direct and to the point, pulls great things out. But my other therapist, she just, she knows what I go through as a black man in this country suffering from mental health issues. It's helpful. It's nurturing. It's positive. Somebody I can sit there and I can tell her stuff. I can tell her stuff that only she'll understand. I tell my other therapist, and it's cool. I tell her, but, some things I have to explain to her. I don't have to explain anything to my other therapist because she already gets it. She already knows it. And the thing about that is she's able to tell me things about what I'm going through based on who I am. So it really is important to us to find the proper treatment for any medical condition, not just mental health, but any medical condition. It's very important for us as black people, and more important for us as black men, to find the proper treatment. Now, my primary physician is a white guy. He's awesome. He really is. He's been my mother's primary care physician for I don't know how long. And he's awesome. But he cares. He cares enough to ask questions. He cares enough to do research. He cares enough to say, hey, listen, no matter whatever it takes, we're going to make it happen. We're going to get it fixed, no matter what it is. And he does. He genuinely puts his best foot forward. And I'm okay with that. But it took a long time. It took a long time to be okay with that because we don't receive proper health care. So that's one of the reasons I think, that's majority of the reason I think that black men don't really go and seek help, because, and another reason is we think it's expensive. It's going to be expensive, but there are avenues out there. There's avenues out there. There's like there's a website out there called BetterHelp.com. That's a helpful website for people who need therapy and don't think it's an option for them. There are a few other sites out there. I can't really recall them off of my head, but there's some things out there. There are some resources out there that will help you, that you can reach right out to. Somebody also asked me, how does the perception of strength and resilience impact black men when they seek mental health support? And it does impact us because I think that, dude over here looking at me is looking at me as some sort of hard rock. And I'm looking at him also as some sort of hard rock. And I'm looking at the rest of these niggas around here as some sort of hard rocks. And that's what we give off. We give off that hard rock mentality, that nothing can penetrate my tough skin. I'm hard as nails because you got to be out here in the streets because the streets is hard, nigga. That's what it is. That's that mentality. That's that mentality. And it's hurtful because that same mentality prevents us from asking for help out of fear of embarrassment in front of our peers. We don't want to be embarrassed. We don't want to be clowned on. Because, let's face it, black people will clown you for fucking anything. They really will. They will clown your ass for anything. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. We just don't. A lot of us would just clown you for anything. But motherfuckers clown you because it makes them feel better because they don't feel any better than you do. And when motherfuckers clown each other, what happens? People laugh. You gain a little bit of instant gratification. Ha ha ha. A little bit of acceptance. Right? Clowning on somebody. But the other side of that coin is the other person's mental state and what they go through and what they wrestle with. When they go home and lay down, they just got clowned on by all their homies. I'm supposed to be this hard rock dude, but they're conflicted. You know what I'm saying? And it becomes a problem. It really does. It just becomes a problem. It just you basically it's I don't want to say bullying because motherfuckers are much older. I wish a motherfucker would try to bully me as an adult. You know what I'm saying? But that's essentially what it is. Motherfuckers bullying motherfuckers out here in the streets because you tough. What happens? You get bullied too much, motherfuckers want to start shooting. That is mental health issues. And we're creating more. We're out here killing each other, killing family members, other family members, creating more mental anguish for those people and those families, people we've never met, people we don't even know, people we've never seen, don't know anything about. We have just affected their life because we got called a bitch and I shot this motherfucker because he called me a bitch because I can't look soft in front of everybody. And we don't realize that that is mental illness. Entire communities, entire populations suffering from mental illness. And nobody doing nothing to take care of it. Nobody doing nothing. We don't look to anything to take care. Oh, yeah, wait. I do. We do look to one thing. We look to one thing to take care of our mental state of being. One thing and one thing only is going to take care of your mental state of being. And that's the church, right? That's Jesus. Jesus is going to take care of that. Some people think mental health is a sin. Shit is ridiculous. Religion is going to help me through my mental illness. Just go home and pray. The God gonna work it out. That shit is hilarious to me, man. You know how many churches I've been in crying on my hands and knees, begging someone to help me. Begging people to help me. And they ain't got nothing for me. Well, brother, why don't you just sit down here for a minute? We can counsel you. Do you know who God is? Do you understand? Yeah, I know exactly who he is. I've been praying to him for a long time. Been praying to Jesus too for a while now. A minute I've been praying to Jesus. And here I am. A puddle on the floor of the church. Well, have you given your life to God? Have you given your life to God? I've tried that too. And still nothing. Circumstances of life. Oh, well, that's just God's will. Well, it must be God's will for me to sit here and suffer with depression and anxiety. That's God's will. I'm here to hurt and suffer, just like the rest of these communities. We are here to hurt and suffer in the name of God. People need to miss me with that. Religion is not going to fix your mental well-being. All right? Let's just put it out there. I don't give a fuck how much they scream at you. God said that mental health will be gone from your body in 1 week's time. Is bullshit. Okay? Let's just put that out there, folks. And if you want to debate me on it, drop a DM. And we can sit here and talk about it all fucking day. All right? And that's to all the folks out there that are into religion. I'm a very spiritual person. I am not a religious person. Extremely spiritual, not religious. But being spiritual can help you with your mental state. And one of the things about being spiritual is meditation. Is being able to sit someplace quietly and not necessarily think, but not think, and decompress and let all of those things go for just that little bit of time and focus inside on yourself. It is okay to do that. Motherfucker, that's corny. No, it ain't. No, it is not. What's corny is motherfuckers telling you that it's corny. That's when it gets corny. Everybody in the hood telling you that some shit is corny or some shit is that's some bullshit. Don't listen to those people, okay? I'm just saying, if you got a homegirl or a homeboy like that, man, that shit is dumb, man. Fuck that shit. That shit is bullshit. Don't listen to that motherfucker, okay? Look at that motherfucker's life, okay? Don't listen. It's difficult out here, folks. It really is for everybody. But we have already established in this podcast that our mental health is not a priority here in America. It just isn't. Healthcare really isn't a priority in America. Healthcare, period. I don't fucking get that. I don't get it. But that's another podcast. But our mental health is serious. And we have to start treating it like it is. And I'm going to go ahead and call out all men. Men, we have to start treating our mental health like it matters. If we are doing something to ourselves, that's stop doing that shit. And by the way, racism is a mental illness. I'm just going to tell you, sexism, bigotry, and all that shit, that's mental illness. People are mentally challenged, mentally deprived. It's ignorance. But we need to get on it, folks. We need to get on it, fellas. We need to get to the point where our mental health matters to more than just, our therapists. It has to mean something to us, all of us. And I'm going to go ahead and magnify it one more level and say, black men, you got to start taking care of yourself mentally, man. You really do. Look at what we're doing to ourselves. Look at what's happening to us. Look at our communities. What can we do about that? It starts with you. You know that, right? Black men. The reason our communities, it starts with you. We can fix this. But we have to start learning that we have to start fixing ourselves. We have to start coming to grips with the fact that we need to go seek help and direction to help us fix the problems in our communities. Now, if you care about that, and you care about your community, and you care about your mama, then you owe it to yourself and your community to go out and seek help, man. If you're on the streets, try and get off, man. Go seek some help. There's help out there. If you're on drugs, my man, there is help out there for you. You just got to do shit that you don't want to do, like fill out some fucking paperwork. You believe that, folks? A lot of it is motherfuckers don't want to fill out the paperwork. They don't get help because they don't want to fill out paperwork. That's a shame. It's embarrassing. You're letting yourself, your community, and your people down, man. Go out there and seek some help, man. I'm serious. I'm dead ass serious. Go out there and get some help. And for those of you who have already gone out and took that first step to get some help, hand claps to y'all. You know what I mean? Shout out to y'all, man. You got somebody on your side. I'm right here. If you ever need to talk about anything, DM me. I will talk to you about anything that you're going through. That's my promise to you. That's my dedication to everybody out there listening. If you guys having issues, DM me, man. And we'll sit there and we'll work out the fucking kinks, bro. I'm not even kidding. To all you fellas out there, all fellas, man, this is a call to action for all fellas. Let's get up. Let's do something about it. We could fix this shit. This mental fucking health epidemic. We're the only country that suffers through like this. We can fix this though. It starts with us. It starts with men. It starts with the men. Our women are hurting, but we can solve that. We can fix that, but it starts with the men. You feel me? It is not too late to turn yourself right. It is not too late to say and reach your hand up in the sky and say, God damn it, I need some fucking help. It's not too late for you to do that. In fact, it's imperative. It's imperative that you do that to save our country. All right? So take your mental health seriously, folks. I mean, that's everybody. That's for everybody. But fellas, please, man. Please. And please share this podcast. If you enjoyed it, talk to somebody about it. Talk to someone about it. Share your story. Don't be afraid to let people know that you go through things and that you've hurt. That right there makes you more braver than any other of these motherfuckers out here on the streets standing here with any of these pistols, talking about these hard rocks. What makes you stronger than all of them is your ability to acknowledge the fact that you have a problem and then do something about it. That makes you invincible. Understand that. Understand that, fellas. All right? I love y'all, man. I love y'all. You know, but we need to embrace and love each other. I think that's going to do it for this week's episode of the podcast, folks. I'm real charged up. Even though I've been having some, I've been having some issues this week. I've had issues with anxiety, like bad. But I have learned to put myself in a state where I can sit down and try and take myself out of that. If not, I have a support system, a really good support system that helps me when I'm down. And that is important. So if you have a support system, don't run them away. Don't push them away because you think you're tough and you don't need help. They're there for you. They've been put there for you. You have to acknowledge that. Okay? I want to thank my parents, man. I really do. Even though I'm all fucked up in the head, I want to thank my parents. Because one thing I can do is I can talk to both of them. I can talk to my parents when I have problems. My father drops everything he's doing, even today. I'm 54. I'm in a week. And if I call my dad right now and say, Dad, I need to talk to you, he drops everything he is doing to sit down and talk to me. And I love that man for that because he has helped me through some things mentally. He has caused some things mentally, but he has also helped me through some tremendous things that I just didn't think I would ever have the mental capacity to deal with. So I want to thank my wife because she is also part of my support system. She tells me the man when I feel that I'm not, and she just makes me believe that I am. Every time I tell myself and reinforce myself, you're a piece of shit, she tells me and reinforces me that I am not. And I thank her for that. I thank my best friend because he is also part of that support system. But sometimes his advice can be a little extreme, but he means well every single time, every single word, every single breath, especially when I've probably been on the phone crying to that motherfucker more than any person I've ever talked to. I've probably sat and shed more tears on the phone with that man than anybody else. Helping me walk through my life. When I watched 9/11, he was on the radio in Morgantown, West Virginia. He was trying to frantically to get me on the phone. And then finally when we were able to speak, man, it was just, the greatest. I heard it in his voice, just so much elation that I had not been hurt. And that right there, that's a bond that I cherish because that's a person who genuinely cares about my well-being. I want to thank Gentry Thomas for giving me my platform to talk about mental health, man. Thanks. I really do appreciate it, G, because if this has any possibility of helping anybody, I don't care if it helps one person, then I'm happy. I'm satisfied with it. I'm good with it. You know what I'm saying? And lastly, I want to thank everybody out there listening. I want to thank the people who listen, don't listen no more. I want to thank everybody who has listened. I want to thank all the listeners. I want to thank everybody. If you've made it to this, I want to thank y'all, especially if you've made it to this point right here. I want to thank you guys especially. I love you. I really do, man. And you guys are the reason that I do it. You're the reason that I do it, is because it helps me come out here and put myself out here on the line and be honest with myself and be honest with you. And I hope that I'm giving you good content, and I hope that this is helping. And if it helps you, drop me a DM, man. You know, I'm not some guy that says, oh, you got to put $5 in my Cash App. I'm not that guy, man. Just let me know you're doing all right. Just let me know that you are good. And that makes me feel good, y'all. You hear me? You hear me? So, until next week, y'all, I'm Deron Harris, and this is my podcast. And anybody out there who is suffering, you know, from mental issues, you have a person to talk to. You know, follow me on my social media, and you know, drop me a DM, man. Drop me a DM and we'll chop it up. I don't care who it is. I don't care where you from. I don't care what language you speak. I'll cross the barrier because I want everybody to be okay. All right? So, until next week, folks, I'll holler at you. Peace.
You've been listening to the Deron Harris Podcast. Subscribe to the show, give a good rating, and everything you need to know is at DeronHarris.com.